So for old age makeup, there's many different kinds of old age, and sometimes for old age makeup I won't do base at all. But for today I am going to do base because I think doing a foundation makes it a little bit easier to blend the highlights and the shadows. So I'm actually going to do a base color that's about the same color to a little bit darker than the skin tone, because this will help the age makeup actually show up. And this with my sponge. Now once I've got a layer of foundation on, I'm going to go in with a color a couple of shades darker than the skin tone to make my shadow color. I'm going to start laying in my shadows. So the first shadow I'm going to put in is the cheek shadow. And you want to think about putting this in at the darkest, the deepest part of the cheek. So I come down from the outside corner of the eyebrow and find the squishy spot kind of in the middle of the cheek. And I'm going to make sort of a Y shape. Put a fuzzy Y. I'm going to do a little bit of contour at the temples. Now I'm going to put in some jowls. So you want to think about this part of the face sinking down and pooching that skin out over top of it. It's going to make a little jowl right about there.
Yeah, those are some fun words.
Jowls.
Jowls, pooching.
Pooching. Yeah, sorry.
I think you said puddle earlier too.
Puddle, there's puddling.
All things to look forward
All
to.
things to look forward to. Like I said, it's too real right now. Okay, I'm going to put in a little dark shadow on the side of the nose because our noses never stop growing. Yay. To the other side. I've been laughing a little bit as I've been doing these videos because it's like no matter what I'm going to go with my sponge and I'm going to go ahead and blend these.
This is like the only class I like on Mondays.
Yeah. What are the classes you have?
I have theater history and then Pilates and this.
Pilates has a
Now I'm going to go in and put in a few wrinkles, and I'm going to go slightly darker with my shadow color for this. So the first one I'm going to put in is the smile line, also known as the nasolabial fold. And I'm following where his would be, and then I'm kind of hooking it into the nose. Tiny approach. Down at the corner of the mouth. accentuate the chin. I'm going to look up for me. We're going to do a little bit of an eye bag. Come around the other side. Now we are going to do the eye itself. And we are going to draw a line that connects from the inner corner of the eyebrow to the outer corner of the eye. So it'll be almost a straight diagonal line. And that's going to kind of curve into the nose shadow that we've put in. And I'm going to fill in underneath the line that I've drawn with shadow color. And powder the eyelids so they don't get greasy. Kind of dust that off a little bit. And now I'm going to go in with a clean brush, and I'm going to blend all of these shadow wrinkle lines that I've done. And the thing you want to keep in mind is that the wrinkle lines should be hard on one side and soft on the other. So with the chin, I want to keep the top of the line hard and soften the bottom. For the nose, I want the bottom of the line to stay hard, and I'm going to soften the top. And make sure as you're doing this that the wrinkle line fades away into nothing. You don't want to have it stop like a magic marker on the face. It should taper away and get very thin. Look up for me. The bottom of the eye bag should stay hard and the top should be soft. So now I'm going to start. That same little ball in a cup, I'm going to put the highlight on the ball. Really, guys? Come on.
I was laughing because of his face.
Let's say like that for
And I'm going to add a little highlight to the forehead, making kind of that same V shape down the nose. I'm going to highlight the jowl. Highlight the chin. And I'm going to put a little white in the corners of the nose. Yeah. And now I'm going to do a little reverse highlighting on the wrinkles. So this is going to actually go on the inside. So this is that rare time in which the highlight and the shadow directly touch each other. It'll make more sense when it's blended.
Where?
Right underneath the smile line.
Oh, no.
It's like where it goes against the sharp line, right?
Yeah, the two sharp edges will go together.
It's funny, ever since you taught me this, I notice it all the time on old people, like the way their wrinkles shadow and everything.
Uh-huh.
It's so kooky.
Oh, you want
I hope so.
And I'm going to do, so look up for me.
You already have gray hair.
And I'm going to do a little eye baggage right there. Most people kind of have a double eye bag. You get the like eyeball part right up in here, and then you get a little more like pooching down at the bottom. It's really exciting. All right, so now we're going to blend. Small brush, and this time for the smile line I'm going to blend down away from the dark line. And on the eye bag I'm going to blend up, so look up for me. So now we're going to go back to the eye and highlight on top of where we do that line. So we have that same line that goes from the eyebrow to the outside corner of the eye. We're going to put highlight on it now and blend the highlight up. So again, the highlight and the dark directly will touch each other. And I'm just going to curve it out a little bit at the corner, and I'm going to blend upwards. Make sense? The eye thing does a lot of the work. On here, and I'll show you my wrinkle trick. Close for me. So I'm going to take again a little wedge sponge. I'm going to load it up with some highlight. nice smooth coat. I'm gonna get you to scrunch your face up, and I'm gonna tap.
Oh my god. That's clever.
It's like she's done this before.
So when he relaxes, you're starting to get, your head to the side, starting to get that texture. We're gonna do a little. I'm gonna go down and smooth those out later.
Oh, that's really hard.
Well, you should do the same thing. I'm gonna go in between the eyes. Actually, you should go do the squinch you were doing beforehand. It's actually pretty good, the squinch you were doing later. Okay, relax. And now you're starting to get that same.
Whoa. Cats.
And if you look at it up close, you'll start to notice texture. It's starting to get texture to it. So now I'm just going to go back with the clean side of the sponge, and I'm just going to kind of soften the edges so it's not quite so splotchy. And not too much. We're going to do the same thing with the lips.
I need to buy more sponges. Where did you get those little thin ones?
I think these were from Target. Any little wedge sponge will do, though. They haven't been expensive. So it gives you like a kiss face. And you want to hit the edge of the lip, because this is sort of getting rid of all of the lip definition. So when you relax, you're starting to get little old lip. I'm going to go in with an eyeliner brush, and I'm going to darken up a few key wrinkles just to really kind of punch it up. So I'm just following along where we put these. And again, some of them I'm just letting them go real soft. And again, I'm going to kind of wipe off my brush, and then I'm going to soften them all so that they kind of taper away to nothing. Wrinkles. So I'm just smoothing these away.
I already know my Instagram caption for this.
Does it involve midterms?
Like back in my day.
Yeah. Midterms got me like.
I really need to make a fence, so.
Same thing with a slightly pinker color on the lips. Darken the dark bits.
Do that to your holes.
Yes, all right.
Brush up, brush up, brush up. Hang on, brush up.
Top one though. It's a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to set the whole thing with powder.
I do.
What did I not do?
forehead.
that you would think exactly. I will say this is a very personal bias of mine. I hate drawn-on forehead wrinkles. I think they almost never look good. If you got them, you got them. If you don't, you don't. But I feel like drawing them on is never super effective. I feel like it can kind of kill the whole rest of the makeup. And that is why I have chosen not to do them.
But I feel like you could do that like with mine, because mine are very prominent.
It's like, you've got them.
Yeah.
But like they're already there because the makeup's creasing. Like you wouldn't have to add them.
Right. That's kind of what I mean when I say if you've got them, and they'll show up.
That's why my face is perfect for old age.
Mine is
Because
really
you're
not
already
that
there.
great except for the eyes, because my forehead doesn't wrinkle very much. I have like the wrinkles right
I was
here,
gonna say your forehead doesn't wrinkle at all. It's so weird.
and I'm not even Botoxed.
Now you're just bragging. Okay, we're good.
Yep. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of blushy contour color and kind of warm this up a little bit.
Where did you get that? That has a lot of cool colors.
Ross dress for less.
I asked this like 3 times already.
Yeah.
That's got a little diagram in case you forget.
So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to kind of reinforce
The why.
the Y.
Why, Allison? Why are you reinforcing?
Because this is such a photochrome.
That was
I really
I
have,
like it.
TJ Maxx, Ross Dress for Less, Famous.
So see how this is coming to life a little bit?
Marshall Simpkins.
Like I said, Ross is my favorite. That's where I find the best stuff.
I always thought Ross was Izos for the longest time because of that.
Back in now, again with my brown shadow, and I'm going to darken up underneath the eye. Close for me. So again, just reinforcing everything I've already done. And getting a little color in it to boot.
So my question is, why do you do a cream and then a shadow if you're going to go back over the bottom?
'Cause it
Just do
packs it
everything
in.
with shadows.
Because it builds layers, so if you're in a bigger space, it lasts longer.
And you don't sweat it off as easy?
Yeah.
And when you do cream and shadow, it stays on forever.
Yeah.
That is the point.
I mean, you know, on some people I'll skip a step or two if I don't think they need it, but always better to know how to keep things on with sweat because we live in Texas.
Have you ever had to do like quick change old makeup?
Yep.
What do you focus on mainly? Like to make it look not what?
The first thing that I do if I'm ever doing either age or sickness, like I've done this for a lot of like Mimi's and Violetas, first thing I do is get rid of the lip color. Take off lip color on stage, you instantly look 15 years older and way less healthy. If I can get the blush off too, I'll do that. Sink the cheeks is the first thing I do, and then I get under eye circles. So like that's the absolute fastest. Powder. And I'm gonna kick up a couple of these.
Like she twirled in her dress.
Oh, yeah. It,
That's
like,
a
went into
pretty
the
magical
trees.
change.
Yeah.
The night I was there, they couldn't do pyro, so we just watched her in dead silence.
So a few more little details we're gonna put in. You will notice this funky looking thing in your kit. This is a stipple sponge.
Stipple sponge.
Stipple sponge has a lot of uses, and this is the first time we're gonna use it. You can also use this to make stubble. You can do this to make road rash. We're going to use this to add a little bit of texture to the face, because one of the things that happens when you age is your skin becomes not as nice and smooth as it once was.
Unless you moisturize.
Moisturize, moisturize.
We all-
So another thing that can make the little capillaries happen is if you have been a person who has had an alcohol problem in your life.
Grandma.
So I'm going to test this on the back of my hand first to get the clumps off, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to just hit some broken capillaries around the nose. If I really think somebody's drinking, or I'm doing like a character like a Falstaff in Shakespeare, I might even put blush on the nose first and then kind of pump it up. Because Falstaff is generally a fat, happy makeup. Still aged, but fatter and happier. Maybe I'm going to do a couple of these on the forehead to get some texture in there. So we've got capillary action. And now I'm just going to go in with a different color of something. It doesn't even really matter what, as long as it's just kind of different from your foundation. So I'm going to pick this orangey color because I have a lot of it. And again, work some of this into my stipple
Why did you
sponge
put the powder on it?
because I didn't mean to.
Oh.
Because I ran my arm through that. And maybe I'll even mix a little red in here. And I'm just going to put it on these smooth areas to break up that texture.
What did you put on that brush, Sheila?
Just a different base color.
Oh.
This is a more orangey color that's not really his base. It just needs to be something different. Vaguely skittish. I'm getting lots of stipple in here, so this makeup has lots of texture. And yeah, I am going over and also putting my hair, sorry. And by doing this over places where you've already put highlight and shadow, it helps everything kind of work all together. A little bit of the blue out of the bruise wheel. Very thick blue.
So if you're trying to do an old person with makeup, do you like let that sit in, or do you like choose?
I'll actually show you if you don't mind once we get. I'm going to do the full regular makeup and then I'll show you how to put cosmetics on top of it. So again, I'm twirling my brush as I kind of drag it through the blue. So it's really stiff. Why is this so stiff? Just like makes it a little smooth around with it. Sorry guys, bear with me. Everybody doing okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We are pretty close to the end now.
Horrible.
So now I'm just going to go in and do a little vein action. And you want just the tiniest little brush you can find. I have honestly, in a pinch, done this with a toothpick. And they tend to show up the most on the temples. And again, it's just real subtle. Sometimes these I'll do dramatic if I'm doing like vampire. So now I'm going to powder over where I've done the veins and where I've done the stippling. Notice how I am pressing the powder. I'm not like dragging the powder across the face, because if you do that, you're going to mess the stipple up and you're going to get weird stipple streaks. Thing you can do is to do your neck. If the neck shows and you can get some real good cords going on the neck, that can really aid you. I'll dust you off a little bit now.
That's pretty much.
The lip turn.
I don't know how he does it.
I'm going to add an age spot or two. Age spots tend to be a really warm brown. So I'll mix a little red, a little of this orangey beige.
Where my grandpa shoes.
That's that one's
I'm just going to add.
Honestly, I just need one. Just. Oh wait, that's called my cell phone.
And these are generally not perfectly round. These are one of the first things that have happened to me. It's pretty much your basic age makeup.
It's beautiful.
Get on a mascara wand. And what you want to do is you're actually going to brush against the direction of the hair growth. So not unlike when you were blocking your eyebrows, only this is much simpler. Because something happens to your eyebrows as you get older and they stop laying nice. So you want to get a little bit of messiness in there. Back all nice.
That looks good.
You know, you want to make sure that you are coloring the eyebrow hairs and you are not coloring your skin. Because it isn't your skin that's gray, it is the eyebrow hairs that are gray. So, if you wanted to look like you were wearing makeup as an old person, a couple of things you can do. I'm going to put a little blush on. But you're going to change where you put the blush. So you're going to actually put the blush in that same location that we did that Y shape. So that you're accentuating the shape that you've put in. If you put the blush back in your regular position, you will basically undo all of this hard old age work. So like, now he's got blush on, but he still has that sinking quality to his cheek. Sorry. If I was doing a slightly jollier makeup, I might put a little blushy color up here.
I knew it was scary Santa.
Right. Like I said, the shape for doing Santa stuff is a little bit different, but it's frankly a little bit more advanced than we're getting into for this class. And then the trick with the lipstick is the same trick that we did to get those lines. We're just doing it with a lipstick instead of with the base color. So I'm going to get my little wedge sponge. And I've thrown some lipstick out here on a palette.
That's gonna be the cover photo for the video, right there.
I actually never decide the cover photo, it just decides it itself.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You can change
choose
it.
from like 3 different parts, or you can upload your own.
So I'm just putting...
Don't mind direct eye contact with me when you're doing that. It's like,
So when you get relaxed, you're you're still getting that definition with the lines on the lips, but you haven't obliterated it with the lips. So you're still getting that same old quality. So the last one. A little bit of latex in your kit.
It's at the top of the left
This one is
page.
very blocky.
That's how I work too.
The what?
That's how I
Should be a
work
little
too.
more than this, but-
Are we doing gore
Like when
next
I'm
week?
memorizing lines,
I
I'm
think
like,
so. I have to look at the syllabus. So I'm gonna take, and I'm probably gonna need somebody's hands to help me with this. I'm
Hold
getting
it
some
down.
latex. So what we wanna do, is we're actually gonna stretch the skin. And I'm just gonna tap, sorry, and you jumped 5 feet.
Shady.
This is a little easier if this is a little more liquidy.
Don't get on your apple.
And again, latex dries clear. And then now what you want to do is you want to start making those scrunchy things. Scrunch your face, and the more you scrunch it, you're actually getting
Ew.
dimensional, now you relax, and you're actually starting to get some dimensional wrinkle action.
So would you do latex and then makeup on top to give it?
Yes. Yep.
That's craziness.
Yep.
Your skin looks like leather.
Base on here. Right on top of that. Good job.
Here, do it more. Now you just look so good.
What do you know? I'm just winking at
you can
Look like
never,
have Tourette's.
can never be in the chair again.
So again, I'm just now going to kind of go over this. Like I said, you are not required to do this, but if you want to experiment with it a little bit, it's most effective around the eyes. But the more stretch you can get on your skin when you're doing the latex, the more wrinkle you're going to get when it relaxes back. Powder. Again, and this is something you would do that would be more effective for a small space or for film, if you really want to get that texture quality going on in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is definitely like an up close thing, and like I said, this is like the fastest possible version. Kind of sad latex, but you kind of get the drift. So if anybody wants to kind of come up closer and see that texture, kind of see you're really starting to get that crazy. Like I said,
I
the more
could
you
never
scrunch
live
and
my life